Well, it's an honor to have our in-studio guest join us, a true icon, an outlaw, poet, actor, activist, a true artist. His songs have been covered by over 500 artists, but today he's here to talk about covering his own songs on his latest CD, the very personal album called Closer to the Bone. Welcome to the show, Country Music Hall of Famer, the legendary Mr. Kris Kristofferson. It is a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. That's kind of a hard introduction to follow.
I was going to say, you know what? I don't think I got it all in.
You should have been looking at Johnny Cash over here or something.
No, we're looking at you. It's great to have you here. And Nashville, I know you're doing a lot of promotion surrounding this new CD. Not typically the place that you spend a lot of time these days. Is it bittersweet to come back here?
Well, Nashville has a special place in my heart because it saved my life, and there was so much soulful music and living going on here that I'll always feel indebted to it, you know. And when I come back, I can't help but think back to those days, you know.
It's changed a lot from what you see.
I wouldn't recognize it. No.
Yeah.
That big statue of all the naked people going around.
You're talking about the circle, yeah.
Yes, at the end of Music Row. I'd love to hear what some of the old guys would say about that.
For anybody who's come in, it's funny when you see tourists because they're usually there with the cameras out taking pictures going, this is horrible, get another shot.
This is horrible.
Yeah, this is horrible, take another picture. Hawaii now home for you, and I guess anybody would love to call that place home. And for you, how did you really wind up there?
Well, I bought property back there back in the early 70s. I don't know how I had the foresight to do that, but built a house out there in the early 80s and moved out there and raised 5 kids in about 90. And I also have a home in California where we kind of divide our time depending on where the kids are, where they're going to school.
And depending on what you're doing too, because you spend a lot of time on the road.
I like what we're doing now. I just take off and leave them there. But Blake, my youngest, is going to high school out there now, so we're out there again.
Out there a lot. When I was reading about Don Was, who's the producer of Closer to the Bone, of course the album prior to that too, This Old Road, he asked you, there was a question that he asked you, where would you love to record? What's your favorite place to sing your songs? And you said your bedroom at home. Is that, did he, I mean, he like set up a recording?
That's probably true.
Yeah.
It was, because he did come out there once and recorded a whole bunch of songs
Just
out
songs
there.
that you had just stockpiled up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don is very, very perceptive, and he's so positive. It's very easy to work with him.
It's interesting, like the album prior to Closer to the Bone, there's the production is so stripped down. I feel like when I'm listening to you, I feel like I'm in a bar and you're in front of me and you're singing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That you know, that setting is just you and I, it just feels like extremely intimate. He did this on purpose. I mean, that was the feel.
I guess so. It was his idea, and I didn't even know we were doing an album when we did it. But he was recording with some new technique where they put mics all around you. But we cut the whole album in about an hour and a half.
Wow.
And this one is more or less the same way, except Stephen Bruton was there, and Jimmy Keltner on drums, and Don playing the bass.
And our condolences to Stephen Bruton, who a longtime collaborator, and great to have him.
He was more like a brother than he was with me since he was a baby.
Really?
But it was, I saw somewhere Don had said that nobody would ever back my songs as well as he did, because he knows where I'm thinking and where I'm going to mess up and where. And,
he was following you.
He was always right in the groove, and so is Don. That's one of the things that makes him a good producer, is he's such a good musician. And it's terrific when everybody's on the same page.
The production matches